Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me for another live review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. If this is your first time checking me out on the live, hey, how's it going? My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. And I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the force. I like to talk about video games. I like to talk about superheroes, comic books, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy. And of course, as you can tell from the name, I like to talk about Black representation and queer representation. So if this is your first time swinging up to the stream, check out my other videos. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Become one of my Safe Gayveneers, which is what I call the people that are subscribed to my channel. But whether you're a first timer or you're a regular, as you guys know, I don't like to do these live streams alone because I like to have a conversation here on the channel. So I'm going to bring my regulars. They're still guests on the channel, but people love them. People know them. So we're going to introduce you to the first one. She is a brand new, she's going to be, I would say, award-winning journalist soon, pretty soon, on Cherry Picked, which is basically the all-women version of Rotten Tomatoes. She has an article out right now, but I'll let her talk more about that herself. And we're going to bring down fantastic in all caps, Frankey.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to play the Stone Cold music. I couldn't get it out in time, the glass break. But thank you. What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Your girl, Fantastic Frankey. I am a media personality journalist now, I guess, which is really odd to hear. I love to debate comic books, anime, as you can see, anything nerdy from my wall behind you. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and talk about this movie. It's a very interesting one for sure.
Yes. And the next person on the list, or not the list, but on the stream, he calls himself the writer's writer. This guy is a publisher. He got over 1 million reach on his website. Got a podcast out. This man is behind the scenes, but he's famous, more famous than all of us.
Facts.
I'm trying to be like this guy when I grow up. So we
got L.A. Reid. Yep. You need to start calling him L.A. Reid. That's my boy.
Yeah, Babyface.
Let's bring Babyface.
Yeah, focus on. I'm about the money.
Heard you.
Yeah, my name is Ron. I'm from You Don't Read Comics. I'm a comic book journalist and culture critic. I tell everything I can from my black ass perspective. The founder of You Don't Read Comics. I also run a podcast called And That's Standardized Podcast. You can check it out wherever you listen to podcasts.
Look at that. He got money.
That's a fact, yo. Look at this shirt. Is that vintage?
Nah, that's not vintage. It look vintage though, right?
Well, yeah, for sure.
What is that shirt?
It's just a hammer.
It's Mion.
It's Mion.
Meow. You take this gun out. I can't be talking about Thor with gum in my mouth. All the words are hard.
I should have got a Thor. I got the Ragnarok shirt. I couldn't get a Love and Thunder.
I didn't even get that. I just got plain old Marvel.
I mean, it's
classic Marvel. At least
let me see. It's
it is classic.
It's classic. Yeah. But Thor's on here and Hela.
All right, that's cool. Yeah. Let me post this tweet real quick. But yeah, guys, if you couldn't tell from the title of the episode, we are talking full spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder. So hopefully you've seen the movie, and because we're gonna go in, we're talking Easter eggs, all of that stuff. So yeah, Frankey. Yeah. Well, let me start with Ron.
Start with Ron before we start.
Because we saw it together. We already released a non-spoiler review. So
y'all left me out.
Dang, twice we left him out actually in New York too. I can't even front.
But that ain't our fault. Like Ron, like I'll be saying this all the time, every single week or every time we go live. I'll be telling him who you need to hit up.
Yeah,
he don't be hitting these people up.
I got 3 jobs, yo.
I also have 3 jobs.
Yeah, you got 3 jobs now. Okay.
You can still send an email.
freelance 3 jobs, yo. So it's like, I don't got no PTO. It's if you work or you don't get paid.
No, damn.
So yeah.
Grind.
So anyway, would you when did you see it, and then what did you think of Love and Thunder?
I saw it that Thursday that it came out. Like I said, the day before it came out. Or Thursday, people see stuff. Everybody knows that you can see stuff on Thursday now. So whatever.
Right.
Thursday. And it was cute or whatever.
It was cute. No, that's perfect.
Dang, that's it.
It was cute or whatever. I guess we could dive into details more, but I had a few problems with the film. I thought the funny was too over the top, especially for such a serious villain. And I think that Thor has just grown so much in the MCU that he's like past a lot of stuff, and there's just not a lot of stories you can tell with him. You know, there's not a lot of stories you can tell with him.
With Thor?
With Thor?
Not right now. I mean, he's already. You know, I think a lot of stuff should have came before he became the Thor that he is now. You know what I mean?
Now that he lost me, you know.
Yeah, he's past that. He's OP now. He's pretty much King Thor at this point. You know, if you go by the comics, like this levels of Thors. He's at King Thor right now. So I
feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't, because like they're so terrible at power scaling.
They are.
They are.
That's why we're like, whoa, King Thor. Like you said it, and I was like,
he was doing a lot of King Thor stuff. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. He moving without, because who was guiding the Bifrost before they got the goats? I mean, we're gonna dive into.
Yeah,
I mean, but I was saying, and I leaned over the front. I was like, where was all this power in like the first Avengers movie? Like this,
he didn't have it. He leveled up.
He leveled up like tripled up. Like
I mean, we see him leveled up ever since Infinity War. Infinity War, it was over.
But even compared to Infinity War, compared to now, he's like.
It's
way
seamless.
More powerful.
It's seamless, yeah.
It's a big jump. It's a big jump.
But anyway, so yeah, Frankie, you already gave your thoughts, but this is also with spoilers too. So give your little quick in case people didn't see the non-spoiler review. Which if you haven't watched our non-spoiler review, you homophobic and racist, but
and sexist,
yeah.
It was cute or whatever. I think that's the perfect way to describe it. Like, did I enjoy myself? Yes. Like, I could definitely throw this shit on and like, chill on a regular day. But at this point, I don't know. I feel like the way I felt after No Way Home, I should have felt by this. This is the 4th Thor movie, and like his 8th appearance, right? So like by this time, I just feel like I want more from him, and I think there is room for his story to grow. I just think they don't know what to do with him.
I felt that this movie they tried to help make him grow, like how he grew at the end of Ragnarok, but it didn't ring the same. Like at the end of Ragnarok, when he gets over Loki, like he's over him, he's like, yeah, this doesn't work on me. I'm done with your tricks and all that stuff. I felt like he grew. But I saw what they were trying to do with this one, but I think they had to dumb him down to make it seem like he grew. But I think he was already past that level of immaturity already, and they put him backwards.
Like he regressed, right?
Yeah.
But that's the interpretation that Taika Waititi has done. And so that's, I think, the issue with the Thor movies in general, right? It's Kanye West. The first 2 albums are totally different than the last 2. Well, it's 3 for Kanye. But if you can split it down the middle, and it's like it started all over with Ragnarok. So you're right. Like, as much as people criticize the Dark World, a lot happened to Thor during that, and he grew a lot during that movie, and all that progress went out the window right with Ragnarok. Right?
Yeah,
Loki wasn't dead. Yeah, and it was like all those beats were kind of rewind, were taken back. So it was fun, but like it wasn't anything that was like giving us more, and that was my frustration. I'm like, when am I gonna get more from these movies? We're 10 properties in. And by now, this universe should be established, or whatever. People were saying the big bag is Kang. How do you know that?
They teasing. I mean, it's
they tease it.
Kang is in the air. Galactus is in the air. Secret Wars is in the air.
Doom World, who?
Yeah. Yeah, Doom Wars could be in the air too. Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest issue is like because they're trying to introduce, like when you think about when Phase 1 started, it's like Marvel was pretty much like they were on the verge of bankruptcy for the most part. Like they needed Iron Man 1 to be a hit in order to really start making their money. Because even Blade made a lot of money, but it made it for them. They were in so much debt that they were pretty much able to pay all their debt off, but they weren't really banking off of Blade. It wasn't until Iron Man that they really started to like see a profit. And like with those movies, because Marvel was so small, like obviously you had to do one at a time, like your Thors, your Captain America. But now like we have a Marvel Cinematic Universe, and at this point, like we shouldn't have to wait all this time. Like you mentioned, like they mentioned Kang the Conqueror and Loki, but when's the next time we're going to see Kang or a reference to Kang? It's going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp. When does that come out? It doesn't come out till next year.
You got to give them a little break because of COVID, though. A lot of these movies got slated back. You know what I mean?
But even with that, like they should be like I forgive them because of COVID, but at the same time, like all of their properties should be in production, like right now, like
right now. And they were,
they have enough money and enough teams to do that. You're right.
Yo, hear me out. And I made a TikTok about it. I didn't drop it yet, so y'all gonna hear it first. I think Marvel rushed these properties because they know DC coming back with heat.
Here you go.
Yo, they said, "Yo,
we are not the black." Batman v Superman about Ezra Miller and how the
let me let y'all know. Let me let y'all think about it. Think about it. Yes, some unfortunate things outside of the movies came out.
Yo, I love your loyalty.
I feel you. Yo, but hear me out. Marvel, right? COVID hit. Marvel had ended production on everything and was just starting production, in which they thought they would be done by the end of the year, right? DC was rounding out production on stuff. So now Marvel's like, damn, we about to go 2 years without stuff. DC may flood the market the way that we flooded the market. Yo, at the time, DC was talking a lot of shit. Y'all was up and down looking the boots of Robert Pattinson just 2 months ago.
Yeah, but that's one.
Just 2 months ago.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, and Peacemaker. Yo, everything since the hiatus, everything that DC has dropped, animated, has been fire. Okay, do not try to come at DC like they not creeping up there. They army crawling their way out now. Now the Lord is not trying to get us, right? And Ezra and the Lord is coming against us. But they army crawling. James Gunn, there was a lot of chatter, yo. And okay. I watched the Black Adam.
Gotham Knights though with Turner Hayes. Like
that's not even out yet. And y'all talk about CW stuff. I'm talking about WB stuff. I can bring up that cartoon shit that Marvel be doing on. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about on the bigger scale, the high property stuff. And to be honest, I watched the Black Adam trailer just so I could make this TikTok about it. And you know what? Shit was fire, bro. They got the Justice Society of America. They got Dr. Fate pulling it up. It's going to be heat. And when it's heat, it's over. It's over. I'm leaving. It's over. I'm
going to see it regardless.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it regardless. But I don't think it has nothing. Yeah, I don't think Marvel, I don't think it has anything to do with it. Because, I mean, for the most part, she got mad. She got mad.
Yo, can you hear me?
No, we can still, yeah, we can still hear you.
Yo, my camera keeps on doing that. It did it when we were off, too.
But The Rock, I don't feel like he's Black Adam in that movie.
That was Kevin Feige cutting you out the stream.
Yeah, that's another film where he's just going to be The Rock, you know?
Can't hear y'all.
You can't hear us?
You needed to be in a center.
I can't hear you, Ron. Hold on. Hold that thought, because I want to talk shit. I'm going to leave and come back.
Well, technical difficulties, but going back to, I'll continue finishing my point until Frankie comes out. But I'm like, yeah, but Marvel's big enough. And I was talking to this with Al, who's in the stream. But like, yeah, Marvel is at the point that they should be able to shoot a whole bunch of Frankie it says device is not connected. But yeah, but Marvel's at the point that they could be shooting multiple properties all at once. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, Thor. Like, do we gotta wait another 5 years?
Not 5 years, but maybe they like building up
for Thor 5
on that excitement. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, but like Thor 5, like look how long it's between Ragnarok and Thor.
And then the movie theater situation, you don't know people are gonna come out. Like Spider-Man, like kind of saved up. Spider-Man kind of beat COVID, you know what I mean? Like nobody was going to the movies, but it's like I go for Spider-Man. I don't know if we're at the point yet where people just popping out to the movies like that, you know?
He said even a camera news. You're tripping with that. They said, go ahead and log off. Go ahead and log off. Frankie. Look. I feel you with that. I feel you with that stuff. But The Rock, is a powerhouse. Okay, that's
yes,
all
he's a
I'm gonna
blockbuster.
say. And let me tell you something. Okay, mark this day, because in 2 years, if DC is up, DC, and people already talk about the fall of Marvel right now. That's what they're talking about right now.
But they've been talking about that even.
But now they really
want to keep saying it until it happened. You know what I mean? And it's never going to happen. They don't keep saying it's like, if I got any sports fans in the chat, it's like people saying Tom Brady going to fall off, and every year he's great.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. I hate Tom Brady, but he's great.
You think he's no, but Marvel is not Tom Brady.
Yes,
they don't got that many.
Yes, they do.
Tom Brady and on the W's. I think that they're consistent.
The MC right now, the MCU is the highest franchise period or studio period.
Like
I just said
full on tens
or whatever, right? But it still made like 350 million in a weekend. You know,
but money is money. But if you going by that, even the worst DC movies is making cheese. It's never been about the cheese. We talking about DC.
A lot of
not
money
losing money.
How much?
DC is not making. Batman made the
Batman versus Superman. How much money did it cost to make that?
And they got it back, and they got cheese to do it again. They showed us the same movie twice for both of the Snyder movies. Niggas love Snyder, but yeah, we hear about Thor. I knew y'all would get hot off that DC comment, but I just needed it.
Anyway, so Mike, you didn't tell us what you thought about the film.
Yeah, tell us.
I like Thor Love and Thunder. I had fun. I said, like, I feel like maybe I liked it more than y'all. Like, it's my second favorite of Phase 4.
Wow.
Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite. Thor Love and Thunder.
Shang-Chi, you think it's better than Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
I like it better than Shang-Chi only because I wish.
First off, but can I ask you a question?
I wish Shang-Chi.
Have you read the comics?
I'm like I'm halfway through it.
Yeah, if you read those comics and read the God Bum arc, which is arguably the greatest story of all time, you're gonna feel differently about the movie. Like I think a lot of problems I had with the film were the fact that a lot of beats that come from Gorr were used in Ragnarok. Like even Hela's powers, that's Gorr's powers. Like pretty much she had the Necro Sword that entire film.
Yeah,
the entire film she was Gorr. There's even a line when she's holding Thor over the balcony, she's like, "What are you the god of again?" That's like one of the most famous lines from the Gorr comic. Like that's Gorr that says that to him, and he snaps back and he's like, "I'm the god of thunder." Like they use so many of Gorr's story already, so it was hard to do it. And I didn't like the fact that the Necro Sword was just like a plain old sword. There was a lot. There was a lot. We'll get into it, but there's a lot.
Yeah, we could talk about the villains, but I think that was the biggest flaw. I think Christian Bale was incredible, but I think that it just didn't fit with this movie particularly. So it was like, I'm like, this guy's doing so much, but he don't know. Last time he did a superhero film is with Heath Ledger. So like he bringing that energy here, and it's not that tone. This is Batman and Robin. You know what I mean?
But not even just that. A lot of that also has to do with the director. Like what did Taika Waititi allow him to do? So like,
and you could have balanced his. He could have been even more serious, and you could have used that to balance the comedy. You know what I mean? These guys are funny, but this villain is dead ass serious. He was kidnapping kids. He was like, compared to the comics, I hate to be that guy, but this is like he's like one of the most serious villains. It was like a joke compared to the comics.
Yeah, it took 3 Thors,
exactly,
past, present, and future to be able, and he still got washed.
Yeah, and that included King Thor, who's like the guy standing at the end of the universe.
And he was washing up Thor. He was washing up. I couldn't figure out the power scaling because, like, first of all, he only killed one god on screen. But, you know, when he rolls up to New Asgard, Thor is giving him that work. Like, he'd never seen hands before. And it wasn't even, like, much work. And then, but then later, it was Thor, Valkyrie, and Jane. And it was
because they fought him in his own realm. That's the way they used to explain it.
Okay.
But the thing is, like you said, they built Thor up too much already. He's too strong already. You know, who's gonna beat him? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
But anyway, speaking of Gorr, let's go back to the beginning when we got introduced to Gorr on screen. Like, how did y'all feel about that opening scene or opening
I think it could have been even more serious. Like it was all right, it was good, you know, but I think it could have just been more serious. Like, 'cause I felt that the comic was like heavily rooted in like theology, you know what I mean? Like how Gorr hates gods because he prayed to gods and they didn't save him. It was like I felt it when I was reading it, and I didn't feel it when I was watching it just now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I needed 5 more minutes of
exactly. He needed more development. I needed
more
more
than just
5 more. I mean, because this is like they keep saying this is the shortest Marvel movie of Phase 4, and it's like it shouldn't have been. Like they could have added a half an hour to this movie, and part of that half an hour could have been 10 more minutes focused on Gorr. We see him lose his whole family, not just his daughter.
Not just his daughter. We could have seen his whole village. You know what I mean?
His whole
them
village
die out.
Gone, and him praying in between the scene. But that's what I'm saying. It could have been a 5-minute montage, right? It shows his community thriving, right? They're all praying in church, right? Famine hits them, right? They're praying. His people start to die, they're still praying. His wife dies, they're praying. They get ravished, like they're praying. This could have been all scenes that we all saw within 5 minutes. Because I think another 10, I would have been like, all right. And then it would have been jarring.
And in the comic, we see that. Like, we see all of that. And we also see Thor acting as an actual god. Like, people praying for rain and Thor showing up to different planets and stuff like that and making it rain. Like, we'll never see that with the MCU Thor. You know what I mean?
And I mean, they kind of teased a little bit to that when we get to the next scene where Thor is helping out that little community. He's like, oh, our gods got destroyed or our gods are dead.
Yeah, but he was just traveling with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That wasn't real.
Fight. Yeah, that wasn't him being a god. And even still, like, they didn't even show the repercussions of their gods dying, right? The Guardian, that felt like just a cameo moment that I felt like could have been a short they put on YouTube. The Guardians of the Galaxy section. But to your point, like, I want to see Thor be a god. I want to see anyone else. All those gods they showed, show me why. What are the gods in this universe? Like, define that for us. And to this day in the MCU, let me write that shit down so I can tell everybody else. To this day in the MCU, I don't know what these gods do. Do you? Y'all know?
I don't think they know. I don't think they know.
Thor's the god of thunder, and I never seen him make it rain.
I done heard about the Panther god 80 times now. What's she do?
What's she do? Like,
is she like?
I mean, we got to see the Panther god a little bit, like carrying, you know, the Black Panthers into the afterworld. We kind of got. To
but
see
was it her or was it just?
It was just
you know what I mean? It was just a panther.
Because like even in the comics, and which is like something that they obviously didn't do in the movie. In order to become Black Panther, the Panther boss has to bless you for, like, you could take the heart-shaped herb, but you don't automatically get the power. Boss has, like, the heart-shaped herb takes you into the Panther god's realm, and then the Panther god has to approve you or not.
But this could all be because, you know, Disney's scared of Christians. You know, this could really all be that. We could be harping on this.
Then why they showing butt? They scared of Christians. I'm sorry.
I mean, when you start talking about God pantheons and stuff like that, you know, people might be like, "Oh, I don't want my child to see."
But we had a whole ass movie with Moon Knight focusing on gods and all that. Like, and this is also going.
But that's just like they just seem like in Thor, the first Thor, it's like, oh, it's just magic we don't understand. You're not really a god. You're an alien from another dimension. You're not really a god. Get to
this movie, it's like, no, they're a god. We seeing Zeus,
exactly.
We seeing Boss, we seeing like the Aztec gods. Yeah. They got a dumpling god. Like they got.
Yeah, and in the comics, there's like, you know, Odin hung the stars in the moon. You know what I mean? In the comics, like, the world starts over and Thor creates a new Earth and he creates his own Adam and Eve. Like, he's a god.
But they're not gonna hold you with that. Yeah, already doing that.
Favorite part of the movie.
Disney's already talking about that, right? They're already starting that journey, so they need to commit or they don't, right? The Eternals' whole thing was based on the Celestials. So if that's the case, they're talking about other entities creating universes, you know, creating life. It's under the guise of this is Greek mythology, this is lore. You get what I'm saying? This is magic. These are aliens.
Might also depend on the director. I think the second worst part of the film, as a comic book fan, the second worst part of the film was the fact that they made eternity like nothing. At the end of the film, they made eternity nothing, like just a MacGuffin. Eternity
he was a genie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Eternity is eternity. It's everything. It's infinite space. It's time.
I did like the way that
it's the one above all, really cool. The living tribunal, and then eternity and infinity. They're like,
yeah, and
then the power,
then chaos and order. You know, like it's like the abstract of time. Like he went to the end of time with pretty much what he did, and like he just asked for a wish. Like that they dumbed it down so much. You know what I mean? I think that they trusted us as fans to be smarter than that by now, but
we not. Niggas is not. Yeah. People don't even know that The Boys is a satire.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
That season finale of The Boys.
Oh. Yeah. That whole series, man.
That's a full on Trump. That was a Trump allegory. Like, but no spoilers for The Boy. I don't know. But
another time.
But yeah, like, I mean, montage or not, but regardless, like, I feel like, yeah, we should have gotten more from Gorr, and like, especially considering what happens at the end, like, I didn't really care about the end, like when the daughter came back, and then, you know, you got Thor raising his child. I'm like,
Why?
Who is she?
This is the only thing that make Thor happy is to be a dad. Like that made no sense to me. You know,
that whole love thing. I was laughing about it because I was like, yo, Jane is a city girl at her finest. She's like, yeah, go ahead and leave this child with us. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, we'll take care. Well, she's not gonna be alone. We'll take care. You ain't even gonna be there. Like
you're dying right now. You on your way to Valhalla.
No, we done spoiled the whole end now.
We already said a spoiler.
I know, I'm just saying.
Spoiler review. Like,
but you know, this is my thing. Are they going to use this little girl?
That's what I'm wondering.
With the power of eternity?
especially now that we know that's Chris Hemsworth's daughter. So
but with the power of eternity.
The actress is his actual daughter.
Yeah.
The little girl is his actual daughter.
All those kids were the actors.
Yeah, they're running away with this. Taika Waititi is like he's like the lighthearted Zack Snyder.
He's Judd Apatow. He's that say Apatow, whatever. He's that guy for Marvel movies.
So yeah, like the little boy that was running when we saw.
I know that was his son.
Yeah, that was his son, and then the little girl is his daughter. So like, I guess because of that, he's gonna want to work with his kids. So maybe we'll see her. But I'm like, but what? Like you said, she has the power of eternity. Like what?
They don't care about the canon at all, and she can't have the power of eternity. But
she has a piece. She's a child born of a god.
Yeah.
They already said it. They said a child with the power of eternity. So he took it's funneling through it. It's not the entire.
And then when she was resurrected, you saw her reflection, and the reflection was eternity.
I didn't see.
I don't think it was eternity. I don't think it was eternity.
Yo, I didn't notice it until the second time that I watched it. But in the second time, when she comes back to life, they show her in the reflection, and she's eternity. And then, so they show eternity in the water, like they show eternity first, and then they pan up, and it's a little girl.
Yeah, I think I know what you guys are talking about, but I don't think it's that. You know, have either of you guys read A-Force?
No,
A-Force. There's a being that looks exactly like her form. Like it was straight stars, and it's a female.
I can't think of Captain. What was it? Captain Universe?
No, it's Singularity. It's purely for A-Force. I thought they were trying to make that character Singularity, but I'm not sure.
No, she's eternity. Eternity created her through a piece of her.
But like even with this cop, like who cares about we're already.
And what stories are you gonna tell with this?
Yeah, we're already in Norse mythology, Greek mythology.
You're just making stuff up at this point, which is
like who cares about the religious?
Wait, I don't know who to listen to. Let's hear Rob.
I was going with this comment. Like who cares about the religious audience? Like we're already doing Norse mythology, Greek mythology. Yeah.
I don't care, but I think it's all fine and dandy when you're trying to play them like aliens. But when you start saying that they actually created the Marvel universe, or they created humans, or they're
already saying that. They're already Kang. He Who Remains said that he is controlling the universe, right?
Controlling is not creating, though.
That's still. I went to Catholic school my whole life. Father John, Sister Bernadette is not letting that shit rock, bro. And then the Celestials also creating universes. And then they're also saying there are more than one universe in Eternals, and in all the other properties, which is also something else that goes against the Bible when we're saying. So they're already going against it.
I understand the little girl is going to be Mistress Love.
I think she's Singularity, but whatever. But the thing is, Thor doesn't have any stories like this.
But
so if this next film would just be like Taika Waititi just making stuff, you know what I mean?
Well, they already teased. They already teased what the next movie is going to be based on the.
Yeah. But once again, I think that's something that Thor has passed already. Like I saw your TikTok earlier, Frankie, where you were talking about like the movie should be reversed. You know, like.
Yeah,
and I wholeheartedly agree with that because Thor's built up too far now. If Gorr was in, you tell it the way you said it.
Yeah, I would. I think, and the issue was Gorr came out the same year, like earlier, like a year before the Dark World came on. But I think they could have pushed it, whatever. But if Gorr was the one killing his mother, Odin, Loki in the Dark World, that all of that character development that we saw would have made sense. And then even this shift that we saw with Taika Waititi in Ragnarok could have just been him saying fuck it, and it being fun because he didn't care. He lost his whole family, yada yada yada. And then in that pursuit, he could have learned. Hela could have pulled up, same, because Odin just died by Gorr, and he could have learned that all these things about his father in Ragnarok, and we didn't even have to do that Planet Hulk stuff. That should have been a totally different movie. Yeah, exactly. And then if they still needed to keep the Infinity Stones instead of the Bifrost being the reason why Gorr reaches eternity, it could have been the stone, and it could have been that he didn't get the stone, so he got killed, or Thanos killed Gorr at the end of Dark War. Like, there were so many ways that could have worked, because this movie felt like I was like, what? This movie senior year. Like, why is it like this? He's just having fun. Exactly. This is a musical special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like. Not Thor the musical.
Yo, it felt like that.
He was too powerful. Like you said, even Gorr couldn't even mess with him on Earth. Like, he had to trick Thor to follow him to his own dimension.
He was washing Gorr by himself.
Even when Gorr thought he had him, when he put the sword to him, he just summoned the thunder. Like, yeah, get off me. Like, you're a joke. Like,
and to me, it read a surprise. I was so glad. I'm going to make sure I see all these movies twice. But like, knowing what I would know was going to happen when I watched that scene again, it wasn't like he was tied up, but he was surprised. He was distracted, and then Gorr like strapped him down, and he was like, "The fuck!" And then once Gorr started pressing him, he's like, "Get that shit out of here!" And he knocked him out. And they washed him up, and then Gorr dipped with the kids. He's like, "Nah, I gotta go." Like,
exactly.
I'm getting cleaned. And I was like, yeah, this don't make sense.
Like, if anything, granted, I haven't finished the whole arc. I'm on like issue 6 or 12, but like of the God Butcher arc. But like, I feel like this movie would have been better set up if it was like the comic, in the sense that it was a mystery.
Like who's killing the
who's killing all these gods? Because like Frankie mentioned, he only killed one god.
You can't do mysteries anymore because you already knew who the villain was as soon as they cast the Christian Bale. You know what I mean? The way that Marvel, I know you guys hate trailers, but that's the reason. You guys are kind of right.
Before,
you know what I mean?
even before the trailers, they released photos while they shooting. Exactly. They announcing it, and I get it. It's to get us excited, but like, they don't need that. They can Beyonce drop their albums now, right? If tomorrow. I don't know who's next. If tomorrow Ant-Man come out, it's gonna sell out.
Yeah.
If at midnight they say
tickets, you think Spider-Man would have did the same numbers if they weren't dropping those hints?
Yes.
I think that the fact that the
second Spider-Man did well, and the only person who was in it was Mysterio.
Yeah, true. But when I say mystery, I don't even necessarily mean for the audience. I mean like Thor trying to figure out in the Guardians of
inside the movie,
inside mystery within the movie, and like shift the tone a little bit, because like Frankie mentioned, like Gorr and the tone, like the tones don't match. Like you made a video about it, like Hercules should have been the villain in this movie,
or at least what's the name? I wrote it down. There are so many other villains he had. The Grand Master would have been a fire villain for this one, because he didn't die. They wasted him already.
They wasted him pretty much. He didn't die. I feel like he's wasted. I think
he's still alive.
I think Hela has been his best villain, but like you said, Ragnarok used so much of Hulk, just like it also used so much of Gorr, and then Hela actually uses a lot of Angela. Like, he just grabs all these arcs and just mashes them together, and it's like, as soon as there's gonna be no material, because he grabs like 10 different Thor arcs and just throws a whole bunch of stuff in there.
And they're planning to use this man like Wolverine. So I'm like, why y'all and y'all using all his stories in one thing, you know? One thing about the Batman that I liked is they had 4 villains in it, but he wasn't focused on 4 villains. He was focused on one. And he was like, damn, I want to fuck you up, but I don't got the time. But later, right? Like they set it up, and that's like how Thor should be. There's so much going on. It's like, why are all these storylines forced to be one? It should be like, I see you doing some fuck shit over there. I'm gonna fix you, but let me get this done first, and then like we'll go from there.
But yeah, I'm taking this comment from Remote. One thing about the gods: why didn't Thor visit Omnipotent City during Infinity War Endgame? Were the gods impervious to the effects of the snap?
They didn't. Honestly,
Thor don't care.
And Zeus would have said the same thing. Zeus would have said the same shit.
Yeah,
right?
Zeus would have said the same thing. Like,
that's
not our business. Yeah,
because they wouldn't have gotten snapped away. It would have been their people, and they don't care either way. They don't care. And that was one thing I wrote. y'all getting all my reels for tomorrow. Zeus was right. Zeus was like, "Yo, that's your problem. They took your children. Why would we risk ourselves?" Right, we're
Asgardian problems.
Yeah, what have you done for me?
Asgardians.
But at the same token, Thor was like, "Well, he's gonna come for you next."
He wasn't, and he would have died. He died the next night, so he's like, he can't come up here.
That's true, because he couldn't come for Thor.
He couldn't come up here.
Remember, Zeus said, nobody knows Omnipotent City except for the gods. So like, he don't know where we at. he's about to die. Yeah, he's about to die.
And
he
they would have washed him if he pulled up.
You're right.
They would have killed him if he came to Omnipotent City where they were all chilling, eating. They would have fucked him up, and that was his thing. He's like, chill out. This nigga got the sword. The sword finna kill him. We all here. And he relax. Worry about your kids. Fuck them kids.
Should have had more development. He should have been way stronger because he was washing Thor in the comic. Like you said, it took 3 Thors, and that's something they could have did in the movie if they wanted to, because we already seen Thor travel back in time to get another hammer. You know what I mean?
Imagine if during that scene, right as Zeus is talking, like he can't get his, Gorr just pulled up and was like,
and stabbed him through his heart.
Exactly. That'd have been it.
And then the rest of the movie is just dark as fuck. And that's the thing. I know Taika Waititi wants things to be funny, but you could do both. And I think Jordan Peele is a perfect example, right? Where like those comedy beats are in there, but they're still very, very serious tones.
Exactly.
And I feel like this shit was wacky as fuck. And I'm like, why am I watching this? I was expecting to hear that like music going on.
Like, it was, like a lot of it was hilarious in it, but some of it was just like you're doing too much. It was like nonstop. You know what I mean?
I was waiting for Thor to like slip on a banana. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like ridiculous. Thor, like I can see Thor being the butt of a joke because he doesn't understand the joke, but Thor just being like just straight comedy himself, like the people around him maybe being funny, but like I think he'd work better as a straight man, you know.
So outside I tuned in just to hear Frankey say people's name wrong. Is it better that I say mostly white people's name wrong?
Yes, it is better. I don't care.
Thank you. Yeah. I work really hard for colored people's name, but white people I say whatever.
Can I get to the biggest flaw in the movie and the most toxic flaw? That whole era. It's not even just the art, it's an era of like when I was reading comics really, really heavy. Jane Foster as Thor, it was really big. It was one of the best selling comics. She was at the forefront of Marvel now. There were like a lot of haters, like they always are on the internet, talking about, oh, Jane isn't Thor, and that made people double down on the book more. You know what I mean? And then in this movie, we got Jane Thor, and she was cool or whatever, but the way we got her was whack. The fact that they made Thor like enchant the hammer just for Jane was whack. She wasn't worthy by herself. She wasn't worthy on her own merit, but she is, as you see in the end of the film when she chooses to be a hero despite, you know, her risking her life. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. She's dead already anyway. It was noble, but no,
she wasn't dead though. Like in this and in the comic, it's like when she uses the hammer, all of the chemo therapy goes out of her.
But the chemo wasn't even responding to her. She was stage 4.
Yeah, that's how they did it.
And when she came back, that's what I'm saying. But when she came back that very last time, right? She was gonna die that next day regardless.
I'm not sure about that.
They told she was cooked.
They said
she was cooked
because they didn't do it like in the comics where so long as she holds the hammer, she can stay alive as long as she wants. But you saw like in the middle of the fight, like she collapsed. Like
I mean, that was happening in the comics too.
But when she came back to fight Gorr in the very last scene, she was fucked up. Like she looked terrible, and she even said it to Thor. She was like, I mean, I could die on chemo, and even if it was weeks or months, right? She could have died, right? A painful, disgusting death as a shell of herself, or she could have died on some blaze of glory shit as a goddess.
What you're saying still goes to my point.
She went to Valhalla. She in Idris cheeks right now. She said, "I've been trying to get this shit."
I agree with what you're saying, but that still goes to my point. That makes her less heroic.
Oh,
like in the comics, she was worthy on her own merit, and like every time she summoned a hammer, the chemo treatment would go away. And she stayed off the hammer for a while, and then people were in danger. She's like, "Fuck it, I will die for these people." But it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? She was less of a hero. She wasn't worth.
She liked being cool.
Yeah, and then the fact that Thor whispered in the hammer, "Protect Jane." You know what I mean? That seems kind of toxic to me. You know what I mean? Like she was not just worthy.
I was also very annoyed at that line when he was like, "Lady Thor," and I was like,
"But that was
how this nigga no misogyny." I was like, "How this nigga
that was him playing the
misogyny?" Like,
yeah, that's what happened.
That's what happened with the people.
Like in real life. Yeah.
I was about to say,
you reading Girl Thor, you reading Lady Thor, and she's like, "My name is the Mighty Thor." That was a reference for comic fans.
Anyone else could have called her Lady Thor. You hear me? Like they were interacting with so many random niggas. Zeus could have been like, where this lady Thor came from. You get what I'm saying? There was so many.
Zeus should have been the head of misogyny. You're right.
Yeah, but I was like, why does Gorr care enough to hit this bitch with misogyny when this whole thing is over his daughter? Like, it don't. I'm sorry. The New York is coming out. I felt the
way she said daughter, y'all heard that daughter.
I was like, daughter. Yeah, the Remy Ma's coming from my diaphragm, like,
like
I guess
water.
a random man giving me a head. Like the lead back video.
But with that said, speaking of also like not liking how things are done, like how did y'all feel about? Because this is also, and this is why I say they could have added another 30 minutes to the movie. I was like 10 minutes for Gorr, and then the other 20 minutes, I wanted more of Valkyrie. Like she's King Thor, or she's King Valkyrie. She's in charge of New Asgard. Like we should have seen her be King Valkyrie, seen her take like
some of it though.
But
no, we did not. We saw her do a
barely. We saw her
commercial.
Yeah, like
no, we saw the Old Spice commercial. We saw her guiding the people. We saw her.
Thor came.
The film when she was
Thor
training
came
them.
And regulated them. Right, and then Sif did the same thing. So it was supposed to be her moment where they showed like this is the new king, and Thor walked in and said, "What y'all niggas doing?"
As soon as Thor popped up, they're like, "What? Thor? They're not even listening to Valkyrie no more."
Yeah,
I didn't like that part.
She was in the movie, but she was like the gay best friend that they always put in the movie. That's like,
Mike, did you feel like she was
not even just that, but like she was literally like the third wheel of the movie. Like there was the scene like when they went to the Omnipotent City. It was Jane and Thor and Valkyrie was just like in the background. As soon as Jane went away, it's like, hey, I got lines now. I'm here. Like
some of it I felt like it's so we wouldn't know how short Tessa Thompson was, because I was shocked when I saw how small this woman was compared to like the other two. And it takes away from like her. I don't know. I pictured her being my size because she seems so big and scary all the time. Like just Tessa Thompson's performance overall, her persona, and I was like, this chick is 4'11".
How do you feel about her jokes though? Like her gay jokes, like, oh, we're on the same team and I'm Team Jane and stuff like that. Was it enough, or was it whack, or was it? I'm asking Mike really.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring this up. Hold on, let me open up my screen real quick. So this article came out from Nerdist.
Yeah,
right here, about how the MCU fails to create meaningful LGBTQ plus representation in Thor Love and Thunder. And the comments, because they also posted that photo on Instagram as well. And of course, the comments under that video were typical. Why does it matter? It's just a movie. Enjoy the movie. Nobody cares about the gay agenda, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, to be perfectly honest, I feel this article because for the most part, like, yeah, truth of the matter is, on paper, this is the gayest Marvel movie. But at the same time, not really though. Like Valkyrie being the king, like she should have had a whole ass harem. All we saw her do was, kiss one maiden's, hand, and then talked about having a girlfriend. But we had a whole ass make out and love connection between Thor and Jane.
Yes, but
we couldn't see, and then Tessa Thompson kind of teased in like Comic-Con a couple years. She's like, "Oh yeah, in the next movie, Thor, Valkyrie's gonna be king, and the movie's gonna be about her looking for her queen or whatever." And we got none of that in this movie.
Yeah, and I think that's something people need to act like they remember. This could be the gayest MCU movie and still not great representation. It just shows that there's not great representation in the MCU. It's like Captain America Civil War is the blackest movie before Black Panther hit, right? It was before then. That was the blackest movie in the MCU. There's 2 black niggas in there. But at the time when I saw it, I said, oh, they got black people everywhere, right? I saw Okoye, I saw the dad, and there was 2 black people in there. But to me, at the time, and Marvel at the time, that was the blackest shit out. And it's the same thing, right? We see 2 black gay people, and we like, this is the gayest shit ever, but it's because there's never gay shit.
And is this gay in Eternals though, Mike?
I mean, there's more references, I would say, like, so maybe in a sense, there's no like gay kiss or anything like that. But like, I think just in terms of the references, I would say a little bit like the Team Jane, or like they kind of like hinted that did Jane and Valkyrie like have a thing before Thor showed up. And then of course you got the Korg stuff, but like, who cares? Like, he's fucking made of rock.
That's like, another thing. It was too much Korg.
And not enough Valkyrie and Sif.
It's tight. It's the director himself, so he's writing all the stuff for him. When he had Korg like face melt, like, you know, I thought that was gonna be like a powerful moment. Oh, Korg is dead.
Yeah, Korg is dead, but then
this is gonna channel Thor to be more serious. You know, be more about this. Oh no, Korg is alive. He's just the face now, and he grew back. Like, come on now, like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Jamie Alexander got us hyped, right? The whole promotion was this is about to be fucking lady.
She always getting played. She do those little cameos for her coin, but she always get played. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Loki,
and now this. But that's what I'm saying. I was like, why did they bring her back? Why didn't they have her come
I think because she wanted to come back.
She wants to come
back.
No.
Why did they drop her off?
Either they would not have her at all, or she just give her a little spot and give her a little break.
No, I'm talking about in the plot. Instead of Korg, it should have been Jamie Alexander there. Sif should have been there. And then, you know what? Maybe have her kiss Valkyrie on the boat while those niggas was smooching on the deck. But like, instead of Korg, it could have been her. Just because she lost her arm, niggas lose arms every day.
Thor lost his arm. In this comic, Thor has one arm, like,
and his eye, right? And he lost his eye. They still haven't talked about how he got his original eye.
Yeah, how he get his original eye back. Yeah, he had the blue, both eyes were blue.
Yeah. But either way, there was no reason. I get she wanted to be in the movie, but there was actually a big place for her in this movie, and they still was like, we hate this woman, we gonna get her out.
Didn't Korg mention in the previous movie how he had a mom? He had a mom in the previous movie. Now apparently everyone is a species man. I don't remember that if he said that.
I don't remember, but just because he had a mom doesn't mean that the species are.
Yeah, that means maybe his dad left his dad.
Maybe he calls one of his dad's mom, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. Valkyrie was probably supposed to get with Lady Sif. They set it up so that Valkyrie had an arc about opening up. They rescued Sif and they were both in the infirmary. I mean, maybe that could have been something that was cut. Because why was Sif in this movie? Other than to make a joke about the joke was funny about
that shit was hilarious.
Maybe your arms in Valhalla, but but like, why else is she to train Axel? Like, Valkyrie could train Axel.
Yo, the first thing I thought when I saw Axel's mom, I was like, yo, Hemdell was breaking this piece off. Where he was like, as a refugee and shit. Yeah, he was a refugee.
But I was glad that she was black. Like,
same.
Well, that child was black as fuck. If she wasn't, I'd be like, all right, y'all, come on.
But you know they be doing that, like,
yeah. And then they cast like what's his name? Zendaya to be his child and to be him in the I feel you.
But do you think going back to this comment real quick, because I don't think they were. Do you think the Guardians were unnecessary in this movie?
Yeah, I think it could have been short.
Yes and no, because like they had to pop up just because Thor left with them.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
so they had to have a quick cameo, you know. But I don't think it had to be that long.
I think they could have released that short before the movie, or like they could have released a short with why he wasn't with the Guardians on YouTube way before the movie.
Yeah, or like, you know, I'd be fine with them being there that long if the whole movie was longer.
Like it felt like a waste of time. I was like, all right, 20 minutes.
I think that's my biggest gripe with the movie. Like, it should have been longer. Like
they didn't develop Valkyrie, they didn't develop Gorr, and I think even Jane could have got a little bit more time. It should have been a more Jane focused movie. It kind of was, but it was more like Jane and Thor and love. That was the focus. But the movie is called Love and Thunder, so whatever.
But even then, Love and Thunder ended up being Thor and the child.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even really about the.
And I think maybe Chris Hemsworth has too much power because he might have told Taika to just write his daughter. Like, I don't really care what's going on.
But you know what? Robert Downey Jr. had that much power, and he still was dropping heat.
It was still Iron Man, though.
It wasn't just Iron Man. It was Iron Man and Civil War. It was Iron Man. He was like, I'm finna be all up in these movies, and everything he touched was better. You know, like, just because his daughter was written into the movie, it didn't have to be like that, right?
If she was written into the movie as an actual character from the comics, then maybe.
Right. I think that whole eternity, and like I get what you're so angry because it literally makes no sense. But they said it out loud, right? Gorg says it in the over. He says, "This child is eternity. A piece of eternity was made to forge this child." So this child is not. You trying to make logic? They don't give a fuck. Taika Waititi does whatever. He doing what he feel like.
Yeah.
I think also the biggest problem with this movie and just Phase 4 in general is that they're introducing so many big elements, but then at the same time, they're making these movies still standalone. Like, Frankie, you made this point, like, Eternals is a standalone movie, but they introduced Celestials. A Celestial sticking out of the Indian Ocean right now. Nobody in other movies are talking about it.
Celestials was in wherever the gods were.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're just a flash.
Exactly.
But they're just a
And
flash.
even just now, in Doctor Strange, we got the Book of the Vishanti, and in this we got Eternity. Like all these different ways that they could have stopped Thanos, they now popping up. You know what I mean? Like
you had Khonshu. I was gonna say you had Khonshu changing the whole sky around the world. Nobody talked about it in like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man ain't say nothing.
Or even in the Multiverse of Madness, Kang or any of his variants ain't show up with this hopping.
And I think
dimension hopper.
That has to be them being cheap. They got to pay him for each appearance, and they just being cheap.
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. I love Jonathan Majors. Ain't no way he's more expensive than some of these other hoes they paying to keep on showing up.
Yeah, because he's on the come up. Like,
but they don't even want to pay Samuel L. Jackson. He was supposed to be in a couple of those movies. And it's like, we didn't want to pay him.
Well, that's why he just wanted to leave.
I think that's why we didn't have.
You can't compare Samuel L. Jackson to Jonathan Majors,
right?
You probably get the same check because Sam take anything.
Whoa, don't talk about Sam like
that.
He
takes every role.
No, but he said he did say that, but he's still Samuel L. Jackson though.
Yeah, he's Samuel L. Jackson. But then we could have even had Paul Bettany and
we didn't even have Paul Bettany in
Doctor
Multiverse of Madness.
I was like, they make no sense to me. It's like because you didn't want to cut him the check, like.
And then not only just that, but going back to the connection, like they keep saying like Loki opened up the multiverse, but yet you look at like say Spider-Man No Way Home. The multiverse opened up because Doctor Strange fucked up a spell. Like if you didn't watch Loki, you don't have to watch Loki to understand what happened with the multiverse. Same with Doctor Strange.
I think
the multiverse is opened up because of America Chavez. It had nothing to do with Loki.
I think it's because the Netflix shows didn't do what they wanted them to do, and they're scared of that repeating itself. So I don't think they want to really connect it until they're sure they got like blockbusters on their hands,
But they sold us a false.
But then if that's the case, then Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then that could have worked, right? For those to be standalones. But movies like the shows like WandaVision and Loki were too big to not want it to connect to the movies. The other ones could have worked like a standalone if that fear was there. But then why? You get what I'm saying? They could have just put Shang-Chi.
Imagine how dope it would have been if White Vision had showed to stop Wanda.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
that'd be so good. Like, even if she beat him,
that boy, God, boy.
When's the next time we gonna see White Vision? Like,
yo, he out here listening to Erykah Badu trying to find himself. Okay, he done
listening to James Baldwin so he could do more of those quotes. Like, what's that quote? What is grief? What is love? What love perseverance?
He listening to Whitey's on the Moon. I can't pay my rent. But Whitey's on the moon. Yeah. Oh my God, that shit.
Exactly. I can't pay my rent, but Whitey's on the moon.
The rent's too damn high. So that's my biggest thing with the Phase 4 so far. It's like things seem way too scattered right now, and they're introducing way too big of elements without anything really connecting. Yeah. So like,
I feel like we chopped this movie up pretty bad, so I just want to mention my favorite part of the film.
Right, because I still enjoyed it. I agree.
The movie though.
I said it was my second favorite.
Yeah, like when I said
over Shang-Chi is crazy.
Yeah, like.
Let me take it. Because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, I would say it's my favorite MCU property of this year.
Copy.
This year.
Like
that includes the movies and the shows.
Okay, when Thor was like King Thor, when he enchanted his hammer and enchanted all of those kids' toys and weapons, that was incredible. That was
my nightmare. The kids would just get the powers. Fucking me up. I'm so mean to kids.
But that was big Thor energy. Like you have to be the king of Asgard to do that.
But I was also like, why he didn't do that for the Avengers though? Like,
was he that strong then?
We don't know, Ron.
But you saying that, like, where he get this power from? Like Odin, because you could say, oh, well, Odin wasn't dead yet, so now Odin was dead. Odin was dead by Infinity War. So how he learned?
He did have that power from
when he let himself go into like depressed Thor. He wasn't as powerful, clearly.
But when
but that's Endgame. That's Endgame. We talk about Infinity War.
Yeah. When he pulled up to Wakanda,
he was powerful as hell.
Yeah, but he still ain't say, let me give these Wakandans. If he had given the Wakandans the power of Thor, that shit would have been done.
That should have been lit.
He wasn't gonna give it to these darkies. He wasn't gonna give it to blackies.
He like black people. You can't have
Where's your God? Where that bitch at? I just saw her and
Palm Boss. I just had a picnic with her.
I saw that bitch at brunch, yo. She was fucking up them grapes. So you try to get my power.
They really need to get into how these gods work. And like I think like sometimes they treat us like we're smart, and sometimes they treat us like we're stupid, you know.
That we're stupid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you, Ramon. I love the goats. Like
I love the
I hated
goats.
them. And the fact I loved the goats and then I hated them. And like halfway into the film, they kept yelling, bro. I like the fact, like, I'm a big Thor comic book fan. This whole arc, I love Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. That's the ghost names. I love them, but that stupid yell he had them doing, like, it was funny the first 2 times. After a while, it kind of got annoying.
Sometimes that shit was funny, bro.
It was sometimes. After a while, it got annoying. And it's not the goats, it's just the yelling noise that they were yelling like humans.
That's how goats that's how goats actually yell.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
That's the gag of it. Like a lot of times people think goats like that's goats.
They're like,
yeah, exactly.
But you know what it is, Mike? Ron is Gullah. He's not Caribbean, so he don't know. He ain't never had no goat.
I eat goat all the time. I ain't never had no goat in my yard.
You ain't never had had a live goat. You talk about you eat curry goat. Of course you do. You live in Brooklyn. Yeah. But I'm talking about you ain't never had a goat in your backyard.
Nah, never.
Yeah, that's why you don't. That shit is funny because you're right. Like I've been in situations like I spent the summer with my grandma or whatever, and that fucking goat is yelling all.
To be fair, I never been to Trinidad, so I ain't never had no goat in the backyard. But
damn, appropriation when you do that accent. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I live with a Trinidad,
but you ain't never been there.
That's crazy.
It ain't my fault.
Goats really scream like that. I'm surprised we don't
like 30-something years.
They go to be dead after like the 3rd scream, yo. Like,
he said, "Don't do that." Yeah, I'm sorry, Ramon. I got you next time.
But yeah, I thought the goats were funny.
Yeah, I thought they were funny.
My family has a farm. It was hilarious.
I also loved when Thor was like, "I'm gonna let you keep the ship," because that was a light press that I thought was incredible.
And he was pressing him the whole other movie too, so that was funny.
Yeah, he was like, "This is my ship," and I'm like, "You don't get it." Like,
if Thor wanted to take that ship,
what was y'all about to do? So he was like, "You know what?"
He took his whole crew. Like, oh, they're gonna follow me because I'm Thor.
Right. So he was like, "You know what? I banged with you enough," and I thought that was a good joke.
Yeah.
I love when
it was also good because I hate Chris Pratt. So.
Yeah, he's racist.
You see how he's trying to change his narrative around, like, oh, I'm not religious.
I'm an American. Well, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Parks and Rec could have you, but so far it's off Netflix now. You can't hide behind it. Yeah. I also love when Mjolnir explodes and reassembles, and the sound it makes when it does it. Like, I thought that was a really cool touch.
Yeah, even the way that Jane used her powers, like the hammer just flying around, like that was it. Like when Thor was surprised when that happened, that's straight from the comics too. Like Thor can't maneuver Mjolnir that same way. That's a strictly Jane thing.
Yeah, I thought this was I loved her character in this.
Yeah.
And I thought it exploded and forming back together was kind of a nod to that, like seeing it do things that even Thor can't do.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you're right. Like, yeah, I mean, I won't get into the negatives again. But yes, I thought that shit was fire. I loved her relationship with Valkyrie. That wasn't like any tension. Valkyrie was nothing but supportive to her.
And then that's something that we don't see a lot in general, just women connecting. Like we talked about a while ago, like the whole A-Force thing. And like all these movies in general, like the women just don't know each other. Black people don't know each other. The women don't know each other. It's just like because a white man is writing all these things. And it was nice to just see the camaraderie between them.
I saw this movie passed the Bechdel test. Like, they weren't just talking about Thor when they were together. They were talking about other things.
Yeah,
checking, and there was no cattiness, no like competition between the two of them. It's like
they had a lot of interaction.
Like, let's go. Like, yeah,
I love that.
And Valkyrie was, like you said, really supportive. Like she came and she checked on her. Like, you all right?
Yes. You good? You could stay here. Like, and there's no pressure. Yeah. And then she looked to her and trusted her. Right when they were in Omnipotent City, Valkyrie's not a god, right?
She's a god. She's an Asgardian, so technically they're all, she's not the god of anything.
Yo, but the Asgardians, they're like giving them godlike powers, right? Like Odin and Thor are generous, but she herself is not a god because Gorr was talking to her crazy, right?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I've been just like you. You ain't shit. Where your people at, yo? Your bitch gone. That's what he was telling her in the Shadow Realm. But when they were in Omnipotent City, she's not a god, and Jane is sick. And she's like, yo, Jane, shit go left, we out, yo. I'm gonna use the signal. We gonna start fucking people up. And she trusted her, and I really like that.
But nah, like Jessica, I disagree because she said it didn't pass the.
When they were in the bathroom, they were talking about her sickness and not.
Yeah, they weren't talking about Thor. Yeah, they were talking about sick. Or then they were talking about the battle. You got your knife, you got your sword ready, and then the boombox. They weren't talking about men.
Yeah. They don't talk about men at all. Even the song they played don't even. It's Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, Mary J. Blige. So, what was this? I still want to see more of Mighty Thor, but now that she's in Valhalla in the MCU, because she come back as a Valkyrie. I mean, they kind of left the door open for the.
They definitely left the door open.
I don't think Natalie Portman's coming back. She's like,
not unless they give her a solo. That's the only way she comes back. Because the only reason she came back for this is because they said she could be a superhero. So
yeah, but then she could be a superhero again.
Yeah, but I think they would have to give her own solo film.
They could potentially have Hercules kill Thor. And then he goes with Valhalla, and then her, Idris, and Thor escape.
If any Valkyrie needs a solo film, it's Tessa Thompson. Like, I need them to come out. Right. If not a film, I need them to announce a Disney Plus show.
Disney Plus, yeah, that's easy money.
Yo, like, Tessa Thompson, a hardworking woman. She got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, exactly. She got Creed coming out. Like,
she got Westworld is on right now. That shit fire. She look great. She's scary.
I don't agree because that wasn't the only time they were together, but it's cool. I mean, no, when they were
So the Bechdel test just needs to happen once. It needs to be one scene in which two women who are named, who have their own names, are discussing something that doesn't involve the men. So it doesn't have to be multiple times. It just has to happen once. So two women, Jane and Valkyrie, were without Thor in the bathroom discussing her illness and her imposter syndrome, which had nothing to do with Thor. So it does pass, but it's not enough, right? I shouldn't have to comb through and watch a movie twice to know that it passed the Bechdel test. It should clearly pass it. Like, I guess it's easier in Black Widow where half the cast is, women, but still, like, stuff like that.
Jane Foster project has been rumored.
Yeah, she not the way they talking now. She's not trying to be in two flops, yo. I'm not gonna hold you. She's just recovering from the Star Wars thing, which I have to say, that cutesy story everyone's telling about Taika Waititi saying, "Oh, would you like to be a Star Wars movie?" That shit is rude as fuck to me. Like, that story to me is not cute.
Yeah, people looking at it like, I'm like,
Oscar award winning actor. Like, you don't know who I am. Like,
she was Padme. Exactly. Yeah,
like she was a minor. It's not like
you better do
your homework.
Like, she should have whacked on him. Really.
That's not funny. Yeah, that's not funny. I wouldn't think that shit was funny. I'd be like, no, like, you forgot. You was like, yeah, those movies, and it also plays into the elitism that is part of the Star Wars thing that I really didn't like.
Queen Amidala, like that, the mother of Luke and Leia. Like, what do you mean you ain't know she was in a Star Wars movie? It's not like she was just a background. She was in every single the wife of Anakin Skywalker. Like, what kind of shit is that?
Annie, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah, but anyway, what did I miss anything? Oh yeah, let's talk about the end. Like, I think it's like one of the best shot, like, because that's something I did. Like, I feel like the action sequences were pretty dope in this movie, especially that final action sequence, like in the desaturation and on in the dark world, whatever the fuck it was called. Like, I thought that was, I thought it was a good action sequence. What was y'all?
Yeah, the action scenes were good. Like I said, I love that part at the end where he enchanted the kids' weapons. I like the way that Jane destroyed the Necro Sword. That was pretty dope. Like, she trapped it in Mjolnir and then kind of. I thought that was cool. Summoned the thunder.
Even honestly, all of the action scenes were really great. When they were first at the Shadow Realm and they were like battling shadow monsters before Valkyrie got hit. When they're fighting the gods. When they're fighting on New Asgard. And honestly, that opening, the Guardians of the Galaxy fight scene was hilarious. When he's doing that split. And I was like, this guy's a fucking joke.
Yo, that was straight. If y'all old school 80s action film, that was a straight Jean-Claude Van Damme. It was hilarious to me.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, with the Guns N' Roses music playing, like
exactly.
Yo, and that shit was bumping. Yo, I love a good drum set in the back. Yo, a little guitar.
Yeah, I was like, what song is this? Let me Shazam this.
I also love the comedy between him and Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Like,
Stormbreaker, like jilted lovers.
Yeah,
it got tired after a while.
It was funny at first. Like as I was saying,
that was just your
to the ground. It was not a joke in that movie. They didn't run into the ground. Like it was funny at first, and then
I heard there's twice as many jokes.
Wow.
Wait, what happened?
There was like 2 hours more of raggedy jokes.
Oh yeah, Taika Waititi said there's like a 4-hour cut, but all of it is like jokes and comedy that they ended up taking out. But
they're probably all high as fuck, just having mad fun, and
yeah.
So ain't winning no Oscars. It was a fun film though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, it was cute. Yeah. Like, but it was
cute.
The inclusion of the Necro Sword made me really wish Marvel or Disney had the rights to that was going to be my next question, actually. Do you think, because the Necro Sword was created by Null is the king of the creator of the god of the symbiotes, do you think we would see Null in the MC? Because, I mean,
it's possible, but I don't even like the fact that they made Null the reason of the Necro Sword. That's all Donny Cates fanboying Venom and trying to put him in the higher class of villain. I don't really like that personally. But, yeah, and the fact that they already wasted the Necro Sword, like I said, like everything that Hela did, that's the Necro Sword. Everything she was the spikes, the traveling everywhere, that was a Necro Sword. They used it already.
Yeah,
he just had a plain old sword. He didn't really have the Necro Sword. He had a plain ass sword.
It was whack. I was like, this whack.
They had spiders and stuff. He really didn't get to see what Gorr's powers look like. Because Hela already did it.
And he was working so hard to just be gross. Yo, that scene when he's talking to the kids and Axel's first telling a story and then he comes in. I didn't know whether or not he was just gross and couldn't connect with the kids or he was trying to scare them.
If he was trying to scare them. Yeah. I didn't know. I think he was trying to scare them, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Because he seemed confused. He was like, oh, no, well, fuck y'all. And then he did. So that's how I read it. The first time I thought he was trying to scare, but then when I watched it the second time, I was like, I think he's trying to endear.
Because it's almost like he tried to connect one of the girl. He was like, I know somebody just like you.
Exactly. And he wasn't like that.
I think that the real thing is he never really got to Thor, and Thor never really felt it. Like in the comics, Thor felt it. He was like, what do you do? What do you do? You're the god or whatever. What do you do? How are you helping people? What are you doing? You're out here partying with the Guardians of the Galaxy doing this. He should have made Thor. He should have held. That's what happened in the comics. He pretty much held up a mirror to Thor, And
not just that, but that's how Thor ended up being unworthy. Like Gorr was right.
Yeah, exactly. Gorr was right. That's the oh god.
And he hasn't been, and that's the thing. Like Thor hasn't been a fuckboy since the first movie. So once again, like you said, he had so much progress so quickly. It was like, so then why like this whole storyline didn't fit as much just because he had a bad breakup. He was still saving people as best he could. You know what I mean? Like,
and look at the story we got in Infinity War. He popped up and like, yo, it's time to go to work. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, you talk about Endgame.
Yeah,
he got activated in
Infinity War and Endgame, really. But in Infinity War, he popped up like, bring me Thanos. It wasn't no ha 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 Thanos.
Right. But in Endgame, he first thing he do
was kill Thanos.
That was one of my favorite scenes. There was a meme where Nebula's like, I know where that nigga Thanos is at, and it showed a bunch of white people strapping up, like at lunch, like drinking wine and quickly strapping up. And I was like, yo, I never seen the Avengers activated like that. It was on site. They said, shit, Negro, let's go. And they left immediately. 3 of them never been to space, and they went immediately. And I really like that.
And this dude is popping up here stealing children and killing gods, and you don't have that same energy. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why I was like, yo, he could have stayed with Zeus and let that Gorr could have just died. And I was telling Mike that like if he listened to Zeus and just stayed there, he would have never got the Stormbreaker, and there was no way he would have reached eternity. He would have just died first.
But they didn't know the plan though. They didn't know that's what Gorr.
It doesn't matter. Zeus told him, chill out here, right? Relax. The necromancer's sword is gonna kill him, right? Like that shit's finna kill him. They knew the lore of that. Like, you worried about your kids. He's not gonna kill your kids. He's trying to get you to come over. And even if he was, fuck them kids. y'all can make some more kids. Like the whole universe is at stake right now, Papa. Like, relax. That's on you. That now you have to live with your mistake, and that's some growth that I felt like he was missing out on.
It was really weird how he took out all the gods. Seemed like he would be more powerful. It was weird. I mean, they should have showed a montage of him
killing a whole bunch of guys.
And then not only just that, but imagine like going back to what you were saying, Ron, if Gorr was also a more psychological villain and made Thor question his morals, Jane question her morals, Valkyrie question her morals, because we got all these gods in the pantheon of gods, but like where have they been? Where what
are they doing?
What are they doing? Like the Egyptian gods, I'm pretty sure, because they kind of, I think, if I remember correctly, they kind of teased Jesus was around in this world, because they mentioned the carpenter god, and Jesus was a carpenter. So, like, where are all these gods when all this stuff is going on in the world? Like, if Gorr, maybe had a moment in, Omnipotent City where he, talked to these, y'all ain't shit, and this is exactly why. Look at all this stuff happening in the world, yada, yada, yada. And it kind of made Thor question himself, damn, even think back to his father, my father is supposed to have been the protector of the 9 realms.
But what's he protecting?
But what the fuck was he doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the comics, it was I don't want to say Killmonger, but it was just Gorr gave you a reason. You kind of believe Gorr what he was saying, and this he's snatching babies. It was okay, you're definitely just the bad guy. Whatever.
Right. But that's how Marvel do. They don't want no nuance. They want it to be, you need to know. And how do they do that? Murder or something with children.
Shout out to For All Nerds. They call that the Killmonger effect.
I know. I do that all the time. I love For All Nerds. But I agree. Also, it was way too easy for them to get out of Omnipotent City. They attacked Zeus and
that was it. Everybody just let them
with his shit.
And then we got Hercules in the post-credit scene.
Not even just attacked Zeus. They killed there. They killed Zeus.
We should have got the Hercules Thor fight in this movie.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on Hercules. And I love Ted Lasso. I love that actor. Terrible Hercules. I was just like,
I thought Hercules is going to be
he got to get way.
And he's not. He's a serious type of surly dude. Hercules is fun, and I don't know.
Yeah, the way that Thor is acting in this movie. That's Hercules.
That's Hercules.
But
I wanted someone who looked like Chris Hemsworth. Honestly, if I'm being real, I thought it would be his brother.
It could have been freaking
Liam Hemsworth.
No, I would have said if you want to piss off DC, because y'all ain't doing nothing with Henry Cavill.
He would be perfect.
Damn. Actually, I'm not gonna hold you. He would have been great.
Too normal.
And he could get big. He could have been it. Jason Momoa could have been Hercules. The Rock could have been Hercules. I'll share. I'm watching both, so I'll share. There are just so many bigger actors who are taller, bigger. I want Hercules to be eye to eye. 5'10".
And how tall is Chris Hemsworth? Chris Hemsworth's 6'2".
Look at that titty. Look at that titty. Meat
I want some of that. Yeah, I want to going underneath. Okay, give me tight.
But let us jump to the let us jump to the post credit scene. Yeah. So how did you feel when Hercules?
Yeah, I mean, I was hyped to see him, but I was also, I don't know why. I mean, I know he looked more comic accurate, but Zeus, I was disappointed to see Russell Crowe as this version of Zeus, because whenever I see Russell Crowe in Gladiator, and it just made me feel, I just was looking at my own mortality while I'm watching.
Gladiator was 20-something years ago.
It don't matter, okay? It do not matter. Top Gun was 30 years ago, okay?
Tom Cruise got the best plastic surgeons in the world, and he's
and Russell Crowe can't afford it?
Nah, he ain't got Tom Cruise money.
Relax.
Maybe not Tom, but Russell Crowe ain't poor. You
he got Tom Cruise. He may not have Tom Cruise money, but he has enough money to have Tom Cruise. It's what you want to put in your body, right? Mm-hmm. It's like Usher. It's maybe like LeBron James and Tom Cruise. But
you also got to be happy too. So whatever makes you happy.
You don't think he'll be happy being beautiful for another 20 years? And not being cast as a fat
I don't know that man life. I don't know that man life.
I'm sure he loves pussy still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he probably he's still needing
you
are fat shaming. You are fat shaming.
It's I'm sorry. You're right. It's leaning towards fat shaming, but it was more on.
And it's still Russell Crowe.
Him not being bigger. Yeah, he's for sure getting pussy, but it's not him being bigger and when Thor was bigger, it wasn't. I don't know. It was more of like the joke of him being fat. You get what I'm saying? Not like he's being bigger because he's old. It was like he was the old, fat, lazy one. You get what I'm saying?
That's I know people were doing that, but I felt it when Thor was fat because it made
that's
sense.
what I'm saying. That was depression.
Like,
that was,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. But with Zeus being bigger, it wasn't that beat, right? It was he's he was gluttonous.
But you also gotta think about it like it works for that version. Is like all he's thinking about is the orgy, the like the parties, like
but he could have been. He didn't have to be fat to be negative. You get what I'm saying?
He's Zeus. No matter what, they want to menage with him. So
no, but I'm saying is they're playing it like to add on top of it. I feel like I'm not articulating it right, but like they're adding it on top of it, like the negative. You know how like the boys, if you're sexual and a woman, then you're a bad character. That's how they're saying it. Like he's fat and gluttonous. You get what I'm saying?
Zeus is a bad guy, though, Frankie. He's a bad
Zeus
person.
is a bad
guy. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're associating it with like that. You get what I'm saying? They're associating it with the gluttony, with the pussy.
Frankie likes her bad guys good looking and fit.
If this was the whole movie, like Thor Love, or not obviously Thor Love and Thunder, but like a fight between Hercules and Thor, like it would have been a much better movie.
That would have been such a surprise in the middle of the film too. Like they just started throwing down like
they
serious.
Just got rid. I would have loved.
We've never really seen Thor overpowered physically. I would have loved to see that. Like I'm the god of strength, fool. Like
I don't know why. And maybe
and granted, they're teasing like more than likely that's going to be Thor 5, so we're gonna get it anyway. But like, still,
him and his little eternity daughter, like.
I just think that Gorr was such a great success in his comic run that they felt it necessary to include him because he's a new character. But they ignored a storyline that would have been so much better. And I think him against Hercules was right there, especially after him being challenged by Thanos, him going through depression and stuff like that, to have his childhood rival pull up and challenge him. You get what I'm saying? Like I felt like was a way better storyline.
Exactly, and they could have had when Zeus could have Thor could attack Zeus, then Hercules could have pulled up, and they could have been fighting for a while. Then Gorr could have pulled up, and then maybe you could have Hercules have him fight Gorr for that 1 second. You know what I mean? Every time the more I think about it,
they have the movie like end on like they lost.
Yeah,
they lost.
Yeah, Gorr is that
Empire Strikes Back.
Gorr is that powerful that it needs to lead into a part 2.
Yeah. They definitely could have did that.
You talk about part 2s. Now you talk about continuity. Marvel's scared of it right now. They just tossing out what they can because they afraid my summation.
But with that said, on the post-credit scene, I was gonna say, with that said, on the post-credit scene, now that we know Hercules is here with the not with the titty meat out, comic accurate costume, I'm hoping, which I'm like, they're not gonna do it, that he's bisexual just like he is in the comics.
He better be it. 1,000%. I'm gonna boycott right with you.
Because or they might make
that's a big part of his character.
They might make a reference to it, but then you're not seeing.
They're gonna Loki us.
They're gonna Loki us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of,
but I mean, all the origins that Zeus was talking about, they gotta be all kinds of stuff going on in there. So
I want to know how Zeus survived though. Like that fucking lightning bolt.
I mean, he did get hit with a lightning bolt
straight through his heart.
I understand what you're saying, but he got hit with a lightning bolt and he's Zeus.
Yeah, that's his own shit. That's when what's his name got hit with that same lightning bolt, Iron Man, and took it and ate it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll forgive it. But I still wish it was Gorr that killed Zeus and not
same, definitely. Because he killed all the guys in the comic.
Did he die? Did Zeus die?
No, he summoned Hercules.
Yeah, he didn't die though. He was just down bad, but he was like, "Yo, you gonna let him?" Yeah, I don't think he's gonna die. He just was like, "You can't let this cat come into our crib and talk to me crazy like that. Like you need to go talk to this nigga."
Yeah. Do you think Frankie? It'd be cool if they had some kind of history between Hercules and Thor, like you said, childhood rivals. That'd have been dope. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of opportunities they missed out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like even with the history,
on the comedy,
even with the history, like they talk about Thor having history with Kango and the Eternals, and it's like they're introducing all these elements that's like we're not really getting to see it. And part of it, like
in one liner, when you watch a show and they kill somebody, but they kill him off screen and they tell you in one line like such and such died. That's how it felt. So they say important things and it'll be one line and then they never develop it.
Yeah.
They break from, they leave stuff out there, and if they feel like developing it, they will. If they don't, they just let it hang, you know.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But
Marvel was a big fuck boy, yo. Break from it.
Popcorn, pop kernels. Yeah. Love kernels.
Oh damn! Strokes TV. You came in late. We did a whole thing about.
We talked about Valkyrie.
We talked about Valkyrie for a while, way back. So you probably got to catch the rewind the stream. Yeah. But last one. So the last post credit scene about Valkyrie being I mean not Valkyrie. Jane going to Valhalla. You seeing Heimdall show up? What y'all
think it was cool to see Idris Elba again.
That was cool. I mean, with his wig though, like they still.
That's the second time. That's the second time they did this to us, and I know they got black people there. Yeah.
How you know they don't? Marvel Studios don't employ that many black hairdressers. Simone Missick had to do her own hair.
Yeah, she always said that. Yeah.
So, I think Black Panther.
The Dora were bald, and then everybody else had braids. They went to aunties.
I think Black Panther was like the first time we had like black costume designers, et cetera, et cetera. So like they'll have like even like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You had a black writer, Malcolm. What is it, Malcolm? Even with that, it was directed by a white woman every single episode.
Yeah,
and that show was not very black. It had black.
We went in on that shit already, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But I think that's pretty much it as far as like the movie in and of itself. You got any maybe predictions of what you think might happen or going forward or whatever? Like.
Nah,
I think Thor needs to die, yo. At this point,
I don't think he. Out of all the Avengers, I think he's the only because he
can't be an Avenger anymore, bro. He cannot be an Avenger.
But I'm saying like he's out of all the original Avengers, he's the one that makes the most sense to keep going on because he's immortal. Like he don't have to go back to Earth. All his adventures could be in space.
I have never seen a good superhero movie with somebody that's powerful.
Dang.
I don't know how they're gonna do it. Spider-Man lifts 20 tons. I've never seen a good superhero movie with somebody this powerful.
Ron said like he could lift 20. Nah, I'm Ron.
He put up 4.
I put it out like I said, I read the Marvel handbook and I know Spider-Man lifts 20 tons.
I know, I get what you're saying because it's like having Photon or like someone who's OP, right?
Yeah.
Even Doctor Strange.
Like you know how when Captain Marvel showed up and just destroyed Thanos' whole fleet by herself, like. And Thanos pretty much had to cheat to stop her. You know what I mean? Like he's probably more powerful than that now. Like his stories would have to be like on other planets or in other universe or other galaxies or against other gods, which I guess they're doing. Like maybe like Wrath of the Gods.
Yeah, that's why I said like keep him in space. He don't have to be on Earth.
Yeah.
They don't use like 12 of his best story.
That's what I'm saying. They don't use the whole storylines.
We still got Silver Surfer. We still got Galactus. We still got.
And that's my fear for like a Silver Surfer movie because.
That shouldn't be a Thor movie. I don't want a Silver Surfer movie. But okay, so that's different, right? And I think that's a prime example to negate what you're saying. The Silver Surfer story is incredible because he is like a very powerful person, but he's a slave of a more powerful person, right? Mm-hmm. So there's someone that's there in check, but it's not about his power. It's about him living through slavery and him grappling that.
But does Thor have a story like that to tell?
No, Thor's done, boy. Really. I agree, but I was just saying.
My favorite Silver Surfer story is a love story, and I guess they could tell that. But like Thor already tried a love story, and it was cute or whatever. But
cheeks.
Yeah.
Marvel's terrible with love stories. Even like I was watching this TikToker talk about Loki, and they said the thing that made Sylvie special is that she's a woman for this gender fluid god with multiple possibilities. Only one variant was a woman, and then she was like Pinterest mom. She wasn't even like the extreme of a woman, right? She wasn't hyper feminine or anything. She was a regular white woman with box dye hair, and so that's always going to be the flaw of the Marvel universe, is that it's inherently ran by cis white straight men, and that shit gets in the way of it. If you guys ever seen this movie The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey, did you guys see it? It's incredible. Watch it and find. I gotta find out what it is, but it's one of those movies that's like Pulp Fiction. And then Matthew McConaughey is American. He goes to England and he gets this like gutta bitch, right? But she's white. So her being gutta, it never reads well, right? Because she's this posh white chick. But I'm like, if they had an Indian woman, a Desi gutter bitch from England, some black top boy type of girl there, some African girl dating him, the story would be totally different. And I think that's an issue that Marvel will always have as long as they continue to just cast nothing but white men, cis white men, straight white men, is that we'll never get that little piece that makes the story more compelling.
Who's directing the Marvels again? Isn't that a black woman?
Nia DaCosta. She'll be the first black woman to direct.
Yeah, we'll see if that one ends up being.
We'll see if they let her.
Yeah, well, they'll let her. Yeah.
She may have some ideas, but they're gonna be like, "Don't bring that Lovecraft shit, country shit here, boy. Got women taking over the universe. We don't want none of that shit. Okay, keep it cute."
What Ramon said right there, fear of a Superman movie. Yeah, they can't tell a good story with somebody that powerful. Like it happens in the comics, but they never try to translate those stories. You know what I mean? Like
word of the day, gutter bitch.
Yo, but did y'all not all know what I was talking about when I said a gutter bitch?
Like, what was it, Justice League or BVS, when they had Superman beat the whole Justice League by itself? I'm like, it's just garbage. Like I don't want to see that.
It wasn't scary, right? Like. And that's why a lot of black people say they hate Superman because they haven't read any of the comic books, right? The only thing that they pull from him is what they see on TV. And I think Superman and Lois is the only one that actually shows it, that like Superman is like, he's written like a black, he's written like a black man, right? He has all this power and he understands that everyone is afraid of him. He can't be, and that's what his conflict always is, right? Proving that he is not going to abuse his power, and all that stuff. Him not ever living up to his potential. And
even think about that like iconic moment in the Justice League cartoon when he was like, I keep holding back. Like the world to me is like cardboard. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna lose control, hit somebody too hard or whatever. But it's like, nah, I'm about to cut loose on Darkseid ass.
Yeah.
Like
one of my favorite Superman comics is when he like loses a lot of his powers, the New 52 Superman, and he's like running around like Luke Cage and he's beating up cops and stuff because he doesn't have that level of power anymore. And it's really good. You check it out by Greg Pak Action Comics. But yeah, like he has a lot of good comics, but they're never going to tell those stories.
Right. Oh, for sure. And that's also because the masses don't know who Superman is, right? Like he don't have a problem with Jonathan being gay. Like you know what I mean? Exactly. Like he wouldn't have a problem with abortion. Like he's very anti-American, and that's why it did make sense. Even though he started off as the American hero, DC has totally changed in the last 20 years his entire rhetoric into like an advocate for America instead. Right. And that's why he doesn't even go by like the American hero. Yeah,
I love posting panels of Superman beating up cops in comics.
Yeah, I mean there was
Superman. They start freaking out.
Superman was fighting the Klan in the 40s.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So Al said DC makes Superman out to be Captain America. Captain America is out to be Superman because Superman is a way older character. So let's be clear here.
I would also say that, but I would also say Captain America is better because Captain America, when it gets to some point, he'll kill you, and I respect that.
Right, because he's a GI.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a soldier.
He's a soldier. Superman, like I said, is like a black man. He's an alien, right? He doesn't have the same luxuries that Captain America has, right? Niggas are not scared of Captain America the way that they're scared of Superman. Personality wise, and I can say that the shift in Superman lately is closer to Captain America, where he is supposed to be a symbol of America, but he's really for the people and not for the agenda of America.
Yeah, he's for the dream.
He's for the dream.
Yeah.
But with that said, speaking of the agenda, what is your because because there are people coming out, like especially on like our non-spoiler review that we released, talking about Thor Love and Thunder is the worst Marvel movie or whatever, the agenda, talking about it being gay or whatever. What do you rate Thor Love and Thunder? No, just the movie in general. What would you rate Thor Love and Thunder? I say it's a hit. So blockbuster, hit, breaking even. Miss, flop.
This has been the hardest thing for me to rate because I thought it was hilarious, and I enjoyed the movie, but I didn't think it was that great of a movie. You know what I mean? Kind of like not another teen movie. Like, however, I felt for that. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5 Frankie Flames.
So that's like a low hit.
Yeah, I can't. I'd have to do 2 different ratings. I have to rate it as like a comic book fan, and I has to rate it as like
rated as a movie. Don't be a schmuck.
Okay. As a movie, I would give it. I rate the letter grade scale. I'll give it a B. That includes like there's a B- and a B+ and a so the levels, but it's just a B. Nope, B-. It's a B-.
Okay. All right. So last thing I'm ask y'all, talk to y'all about, and then we gonna go. So did y'all see the because I wanted y'all opinions real quick. The thing that happened with the Hollywood Reporter, like tell me you're not tell me you're racist without telling me you're not racist.
Crackers, man.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, so
they refused to reference Sam Wilson as Captain America.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. So they released this tweet right here that said and it's Hollywood Reporter. It's not some janky old person in their basement or whatever. But they said Anthony Mackie is reprising his longtime Marvel character of Sam Wilson, but will not, however, portray Wilson's longtime alter ego and hashtag Captain America's sidekick Falcon. And then somebody retweeted. It was just like that's a long way to be like, without ignoring the fact that he's Captain America. And then they doubled down on it, and it was just like, it's unclear if Chris Evans will reprise his role as the first Captain America, though if the question of who is entitled to carry the shield continues, all bets are off, having stacked casts and solo outings. So basically, they went all this way to not name Sam Wilson as Captain America. It's where even Chris Evans himself had their tweet. Let me pull it up.
I was like, I want to know, how did Marvel and his co-stars
they've been put him on the face of the Captain America Twitter.
Yeah. Oh no, Chris Evans came out and was like, and tweeted Hollywood Reporter was like, Sam Wilson is Captain America.
But not just that, he doesn't. Literally, that's what Falcon and the Winter Soldier was about. The exact premise.
They made a point to make that article. They know who.
They made it a point. They know it's Hollywood Reporter.
Who they are? They're telling us who they are.
So were they not getting enough clicks? Were they like feeling away?
They usually get a lot of clicks, though. I don't know.
It just sounds like
it's not some random person in their basement. It's Hollywood Reporter.
But
like they got.
We should look up who wrote the article and find his Twitter and see what that person is about.
Yeah,
maybe,
but Evans.
That's like, tell me you're racist without telling me they're doing everything to try to not to say this black man is Captain America, and then they have then the fact that they have the audacity to be like, we don't know if Chris Evans is going to come back.
And the irony about it is his whole comic was about people trying to say that he's not Captain America, and you just
you're proven
but that's why comics are so. That's why I love comics, because they be telling us how we are, and niggas don't even realize it, and then we be doing exactly what the comics are saying.
People are saying that he's the character in The Boys, the stepdad.
Which one?
At the Homelander rally.
Oh, the Homelander
rally. Yeah. But you know what it is too. Like
spoilers for The Boys if you haven't seen it.
That's why people be like The Simpsons or like Captain America predicted the future. It's not that they predicted the future. We are predictable.
Yeah, we are predictable.
People. We do the same things over and over again. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to predict what we would do. So like people be like, oh, we predicted it. No, y'all do this shit all the time.
Yeah, go back and listen to speeches from Malcolm X, Dr. King, Huey Newton. Like it's the same shit we dealing with today.
Exactly. It's the same.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. And still.
Like, and then people try to gaslight us, even with the whole Stranger Things conversation, what happened with Lucas, and like, but anyway, we're not going to go into all that. So, but anyway, that's I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that Sam Wilson Captain America thing. But that's pretty much the end of the stream. If you guys haven't already, please do me a favor and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Subscribe to everybody on the channel, and if you guys got any final thoughts, give your final thoughts. Otherwise, just tell them where they can find you. Ron, go first.
Like I said, it was cute or whatever. That's all I got. Like I said, there was a nice little. Like as much as we bash this film, there's a lot of nice moments in this film. A lot of great moments in this film. So,
agree.
Yeah, it's good. It's solid, And if you really don't don't read the comics, and maybe like the little bit of misogynoir doesn't bother you, you probably love it.
Hashtag Valkyrie deserves better.
She definitely does. So did Thor. And I mean Jane when I say Thor.
Thank you.
Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor. That shit
Call
fire.
me Mighty Thor, Dr. Jane Foster.
Exactly.
Eat my hammer.
Best-selling comic of, what was that, 2016? I
still want to know what her catchphrase was that she whispered in his ear, though.
That's private.
Yeah, exactly. You're not in a relationship.
It's a movie.
That's what makes relationships fair, when you got people all in your business.
So it's a movie, though. I want to be all up in their business.
Sometimes that's what makes it incredible. In The Office, Jim Halpert leaves Pam a note in the first season, and then she reads it in the last season. We never know what that note says, but we just see her reaction to it, and that's what makes it beautiful. It's
like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know for it to have impact. I agree.
Yeah, but you can follow me at You Don't Read Comics, articles every Wednesday. I have 2 episodes of my podcast that I have not published yet because I work 3 jobs, but I will have that out soon.
He's still like, you know how long ago you and I recorded that episode, and it still ain't out yet?
We had on codes. Yeah,
exactly.
It was April.
The episode is out. The episode is out. It's just the video is not out. I know all I care about is video content. Yeah.
Yes. All you guys care about is video. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 1950, back in my day. We listened to
the
radio.
We gotta adjust the antenna. Like, anyway, Frankie.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? You can catch me on all platforms at Fantastic Frankey, FrankeyI. I don't know why I could spell that for a second. Or you can find me on Twitter when I do tweet at Fanboy Fighter. But yeah. I'm talking shit. I'm writing articles now. I'm excited, and I'm on tour. I'm like hitting all the cons I can this summer. So
if you're in the Dallas area, come find. I ain't gonna be there, but come find them at DreamCon.
I'm gonna try to be there if they let me in
Dallas.
But definitely, if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, I have a panel. It's really crazy that I have a panel at SDCC, women in filmmaking, but I'm just gonna call it filmmaking. And it's a lot of great filmmakers. The filmmakers from Supernatural, from DC, that Wonder Show, and stuff like that. Is
Robbie Thompson on there?
Let me see. Actually, I could pull up all the names. Hold on. Robbie Thompson, that's your boo?
Yeah.
He's like, actually, yes. Yeah. Megan Fitzmartin, Tamara Robertson, Hannah Cook.
Robbie Thompson's a man. He's not on there. I'm sorry.
No, it's only women, not men.
Yeah.
So it's Supernatural, Mythbusters, DC Superhero Girls, Eastsiders, April Shower, and Heidi Honeycutt is from the Ethereal Film Festival. So that's pretty.
I only know the Fitzmartin girl because I know she was the one that wrote Tim Drake is being bi.
Yeah. See? Big. I'll tell her thank you for it.
But anyway, so hit the bell notification button because we're also going to be doing Stranger Things. So if you haven't seen Stranger Things, catch up in the next couple Days. Volume 2. We're gonna be talking. I'm gonna try to get Robbie on again. If you saw my live for Volume 1 with me, Ron, officially Divinity. She can't do it, but Robbie, I'm gonna get him on. And then also he and I are gonna be. If you saw Fire Island on Hulu, we're gonna be releasing that soon. So him and Robbie and I, so be on the lookout for that. And with that, we are out.
What about the boys?
I mean, y'all keep talking about I'm trying to do too much. Like Mike trying to have too many lies. Like they trying to look. Ron talk about
camera. I was like, please, we are still live. We still live, bro. Okay.
But yeah, we need to talk about the boys too. So whoever hit the bell notification button. So whenever the shit comes up,
I'm trying to get these guys that work on a better way to give you content, like all of us together, a better way, a better.
Not even just that, but getting paid. Like,
but once again, why are we talking business with everybody? We got
because we transparency. We want people to know
with stuff.
I want people. I want to be a full-time content creator. I'm trying to quit my job. I gotta go to work. I've been off all last week, and I gotta go back to work tomorrow. And I'm like dreading it. I'm like, fuck this. Yeah.
But how much content did you stockpile this week?
I I released a bunch of stuff.
No, I said stockpile.
Oh, stockpile. No, I didn't. I just
record.
I just record. Like I just record and release. Like I don't.
Yeah, but you could have read like 10 or 12 comic books and then stockpile that content for while you were at work.
Nah, because I be recording while I'm working. Like
no, but I'm saying so.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You record while you working, right? But then imagine if you had supplemental things that were timeless that you had recorded while you weren't working and were free.
Chill, Frankie, the guru, you giving out all the secrets.
I'm just
anyway.
You know what? I give out the secrets because when I give out the secrets, nobody followed them. I can say this every time.
I'll be listening. I listen to black women. I'll be listening. So anyway, we ended the stream. Bye, everybody.